Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, and I'm sitting here in the sunlight, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I try to get in the sunlight almost every single morning. We know that our eyes are an external portion of our brains, and so there is this little crisscross that happens between our eyes and our brains, and that gets stimulated when we get in the light, called the suprachiasmatic nuclei. And this is basically a light signaling for all of our cells in our body. So there's an axis called the HTP axis, and it stands for the hypothalamus, thalamus, and pituitary gland. These glands actually go all the way down and connect with our adrenal glands. So, and I just want to say, excuse me if I mess up anything in the process of me trying to teach and explain. I am not perfect by any means. I'm just very enthusiastic about these sorts of topics for what it can do for our biochemistry, changing how we feel and getting our circadian rhythms back on track. So I'll just throw that little disclaimer out there, but to be continued. So when we see morning sunlight, the sunlight is a blue light. So that's why you'll always see me wearing my my blue light blocking glasses at night, those red tinted glasses at night, because I am trying to block blue light at night. But in the morning, the blue light stimulating our eyes bumps our cortisol up. And when we get our cortisol up in the morning, which most people don't have a healthy rise in cortisol, we can get that cortisol bumped up in the morning, and this can help with things like insulin sensitivity throughout the day, can help with ghrelin and leptin balance. So ghrelin would be our hunger hormones, and leptin would be our satiety hormones. So I made a video about insulin sensitivity. This is all having to do with this communication within the body, within this insulin communication with the body, with glucagon. I've talked about glucagon before. And so it's important to have this balance. It's important to have these proper stimulations in the morning so that we can have proper melatonin come in at nighttime. Melatonin is really like our key regulator of our nervous system. It's the key regulator of balancing that sympathetic, that stress state, and the parasympathetic, the relaxed rest and digest state. So it's really that key regulator. Melatonin's also known to help tumor suppression. So it's a number one tumor suppressor. And it does so many things. Most of our melatonin is produced from the gut. So I always try to do my sunlight exposure, my exercise, whatever I'm going to do in the fasted state, it's always more potent. I always talk about this. So right now, even though I'm in the sunlight and I'm not technically eating, my body's still eating. My mitochondria are feeding because the sunlight can penetrate directly through the skin and stimulate our mitochondria. So in this way too, I'm also feeding my good gut bacteria from a top-down regulation instead of eating from a bottom-up regulation. So we eat our nutrients and our chemicals, things like tryptophan, and that would be a bottom-up regulation. That would be my body having to break down and use my central metabolism to stimulate my brain. But instead I'm doing it from top down. So I hope this is helpful. As always, get in the sunlight. It's so free and so loving and so warm, and good luck.